did you make me notice that? I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. This is just me right now. This is just me.
What you mean?
Realizing you have to lie. What if?
Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do.
Is giving up really the only option? No! Snap out of it, Phoenix! What's the matter with you? Giving in to doubt! I can't look back! Forward is the only way to go! No, Your Honor! Not yet! It isn't over yet! Right! Who is this? What? Go away! I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I always believe in her, to the very end. A defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case thoroughly.
Uh-oh.
Brain time. I can see the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been Punko. What? This must have been what Punko witnessed as Athena's hug. I couldn't read that for some reason. But Prosecutor Blackfield didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken that utility knife from the lab?
Someone else?
Someone else! If I trust in Athena, then I have to conclude there was a third person at the scene. But according to Punko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only ones there. Okay. So then how did this third person manage to escape Punko's detection? I know! This person must have tricked Punko's facial recognition feature by covering
their own face.
Mm-hmm. But wait a minute, Punko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they covered their own face, Punko would have still detected their presence. But she wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it! The culprit could have covered their face and posed this rich person to avoid detection.
Which one?
Sykes.
Who?
Sykes.
Sykes?
Sykes
Sykes don't know? Sykes don't know. If the culprit posed as a victim, that would explain why Punko thought only she saw Athena. Oh my god, I can't read. That would explain why Punko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Punko's basic recognition features. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim. Her jacket?
Her jacket.
The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But that still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How did the culprit get around that? It wouldn't have worked if Punko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. So does that mean that the real Dr. Sykes is already dead by that time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab?
The real culprit?
The real culprit.
That's it! The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit! Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to the hostage negotiations.
You are absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby...
Objection!
I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second. Because I realized something so shocking, I had to take a break to digest it. But now, I know for a fact that Miss Sykes is innocent.
But Punko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime.
Yes, Punko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother.
What are you saying, Mr. Wright?
The answer is simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes.
What?
Objection!
Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statements, there was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time?
Objection!
After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence? You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts. Punko's strength malfunction. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay? Mr. Terran, that's Apollo you're talking to.
Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost.
That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Clunko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to the eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition, and then all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her.
Objection!
Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten that the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because, by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating. What?
So, does that mean?
Yes, Your Honor, the person Miss Sykes stabbed. This third person who was posing as Dr. Sykes is her mother's real killer. But that's impossible!
A mask? A mask? The person I stabbed was wearing a mask? Order in the court. Miss Sykes, did you say something? A mask? Yes, I remember.
Athena? What is it?
I remember a man with a mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head. film. Really?
Let's go.
He's so silly. Miss Sykes, are you all right? No.
The black cyclops. They're breaking.
Uh-oh. It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened the day my mother was murdered.
They're gone. The black cyclops are finally gone. You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's all right, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day.
I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then... I just let you laugh, that's all.
It's all right. I'm right here. You're safe, Athena.
She was on the floor by the workbench with the katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there. A man?
Hold it!
Quiet, your honor. Go on, Athena.
He told me. He cried. He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there and he dodged at first. So I only got his clothes. But I tried again.
And this time, you got him, didn't you?
I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Then he kicked me and I passed out. Utility knife updated in the court record. The murder weapon used on Terran Athena also used on one of these two stabbed the Phantom hand during a incident 7 years ago. When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Paco to move her to the operating table. Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her.
So that's why she said that. Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony. A man was there before Miss Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit.
Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was? No, I'm afraid I don't.
A few moments ago, Miss Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that?
Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. I think it was the one hanging on the wall of the lab. Oh, this mask hanging here on the wall? It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me that a no mask even has the power to turn an ordinary human being into a phantom. Phantom?
Phantom?
It would seem. that a new suspect has emerged. And that means that all suspicion against Miss Sykes has... Here come an edge word. Uh-oh, Punko. Or wrong. Wait, you see, this is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict.
Miss Blackwell, this is not good.
A new suspect? Where's the proof this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head?
He's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence.
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother.
Athena, I'm so glad for you.
More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing, if I could. Punko came to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. to recharge. I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mummy Metis. And then Mummy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything.
I see where you're going with this. If Mummy Metis was really the killer in disguise.
Right. Then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m.
Do I have anything here in the evidence that can help me find this person who came to the lab before 2 p.m.?
This thing here. Hello. Do we have anything?
Photos?
This that had one.
Video? Let me see. I mean, if he was, then he'd be caught on camera, right?
Yeah, I don't see any timestamps. Hold on, where nope, no clock.
We gonna bluff.
Oh. Between 1 and 3 p.m. Let's see, we gonna bluff?
Yep. Isn't it? The video.
Take that!
This is Prosecutor Blackwell leaving the scene after the incident around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does the video show anyone else passing by there before then? I don't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check. Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene.
Very well then, let's take a look.
You telling me the police don't look at all that footage?
Right, they supposed to look at everything.
There, please stop it right there.
It's just like you said. There is a man leaving the scene of the crime.
Miss Sykes, do you remember this person?
That's him. I'm sure of it. He's wearing my mother's jacket. I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket.
That jacket on display. That was Dr. Sykes's?
Can you see it? There's a slash I made with the utility knife that day. And I'm sure that knife is under that jacket somewhere. So then everything Miss Sykes said.
Exactly. It proves that Miss Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hit her face with a handkerchief. Then, he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' jacket and mask that were in the lab.
The culprit probably knew beforehand that Punko charged up at 2 p.m. every day. So he waited for Punko to come to the lab for her regular recharge.
By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Punko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up to that point in time. All to disguise the real time of death.
Objection!
It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that it's just not possible. What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in this video. And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket as seen confirms beyond a doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the crime scene? What's going on? That doesn't make sense. Ed was right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did he get back to the lab? Who brought it back?
Killer brought it back, the victim brought it back, the defendant brought it back.
Yep, Dina knocked herself out, then climbed and grabbed the jacket and put it back to Misha.
The killer?
Yeah. The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape. But in order to conceal that fact, he had to get the jacket back to the scene. Crime scene, yeah. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved.
Objection!
Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came back to the robotics lab after the killer were Prosecutor Blackwell and the people who reported the body. And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when do you propose this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket?
A puzzling question indeed.
When did the culprit have the chance to bring the jacket back?
At the time of the murder?
No, they were left with the jacket.
Well, I guess when he was one of the people that found the body.
The only time the culprit could have returned to the jacket was when the body was found. Mr. Ross, do you realize the implication of that argument? I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken advantage of that split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body.
I would never thought of that. Order in the court. Well, what is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth?
The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule in preparation for the Hat-1 launch. One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag? Correct. I suppose that the jacket was in that bag. It could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I'll see to it that you get to reports on those 3 people. You will? We should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. So this person felt the need to hide his face with the theater mask. It must mean that his facial data was once registered.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, does this mean?
I have to admit, I believe Miss Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, right? Not that this was ever an official trial anyway.
Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you actually conceding? Is it true? Boss, does this mean
I can't believe it! It's over! I won! I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell are innocent! Your Honor, I see no need to further prolong this trial!
Objection!
Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial?
That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say I see no need to further prolong.
Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence.
The little princess who was truly beloved by Metis and who repaid that love with death. All these years hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on?
Miss Blackwell. How unlike you are. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner. Isn't that?
Shut up, Simon. You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that I wanted. Then what did you want from her?
Did you just really go there, Your Honor? Oh, there's something I've wanted to say, if you will lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis' murderer is. You do? Right, Donald. You asked me about this identity of the Phantom of 7 years past. That's right. The Phantom. The person Blackwell has been looking for, even from behind bars. 7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat 1 rocket. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew not about him, his background, appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day, a miracle occurred, and I obtained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting. What was the lead?
A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet I had hope. Or his co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions. So I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology. And that scientist was Dr. Sykes. Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Hat 1, Dr. Sykes' results in the recording were surely among his targets. But in search of the space center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them, but where could they have been?
Who is to say? Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years. How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented at that sort of thing. I want to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt. And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Here, you can see for yourself. But take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor. I will. I better hold on to this real tight.
Mental psych profile added to the record. The subject's emotions rarely fluctuate, and he doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. I wonder who that is.
Want me to read this out?
Go ahead.
All right. Psychological profile classified. Emotional output of this voice extremely weak compared to the typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh? A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness, nor anger, and naturally, no fear.
I wonder who that could be.
He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see? This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. The Phantom indeed, a fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world.
Well then, it seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end. Whatever, do what you want.
You'll hear no objection from me. Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over.
Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overturned. That's all he had to say. And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Athena, you're more than welcome.
If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict. You? Apollo!
Apollo! Apollo? What is the meaning of this? Congratulations, Mr. Rice and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago, and you saved Prosecutor Blackwell. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet!
Uh-oh.
Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us?
Uh-oh. Why, Apollo?
Why, Apollo?
Why, Apollo?
Why you do that, Apollo?
Apollo.
Apollo?
It was over, Apollo.
Over, Apollo.
Alrighty then. Well, we will save it to the next one. Alright, thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
And yeah, I appreciate your patience with the other stream. I wanted to put everything, do it again. So we just recorded it, me and Plum. But I appreciate you all. And yeah, if you're watching, you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, appreciate you. Go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you don't mind just hitting that like button for me, I'd appreciate it. I will talk to you all on the next one. You all take care.